Welcome, good evening. This is Arunfoot Chaudhary. Welcome back on my YouTube channel, arunfoot. I'm sorry that I'm 10 minutes late, but I had a media friend from India who had gotten in touch and wanted to know what's all happening here in Germany and at the Euros, especially tonight with Germany taking on Switzerland. So therefore, guys, let's get into Indian football. Kumar, good to see you back as well, everybody else. I've been a little busy because I've been traveling a little bit and watching games at the Euros, and therefore have not been able to do a live. So sorry for that, and great to have all of you back again. And some of you will most probably have watched my little video on what I by now call the Indian football circus, with what has been said by the Indian or the former Indian national team head coach, the pending reaction of the AFF. I'm always checking if the AFF has come out with a statement or not, but I still don't see anything from their side. And it's I don't know what to say, and to me is some of it. And let's see. Good Abend as well, Naresh and my that's something which will not happen immediately, because the AFF now has given out a document in regard to what all they expect from a potential new Indian head coach, and then they will most probably do a round or maybe a few rounds of scrutiny in regard to who could be the next coach. Again, the document looks good, reads good. Would be interesting to see if that's going to, be the way forward. A lot of coaches have already applied, more are doing it. So as I've said before, if and when the Indian job is available, despite what has been said by Stimac, there will be high-profile coaches applying. And again, it's rather that the international coaches that I have interacted with who've shown interest, that they are saying, that they are shocked with, what Stimac has come out with, and rather saying, how can someone really say what he's done? So therefore, I'm interested to see what happens. As I always say, and at the moment, I'd say, I think it's a wait and watch approach. Hi, Ishan, as well, because I think the India coach situation is, it's a very difficult situation, and again, it shows the issue of leadership. The coach has been doing things. Sorry. So that's something which is something. Let's wait and see. And when will the circus end, Renal? That's a good question. I don't know at the moment, to be honest, but it's gotten to the level that I expected it to go whenever Stimac was said to be if he's fired and if he didn't go as on his own. And as a lot of people have said, I'm shocked that the coach is getting away with lies. I'm fine when someone defends himself and says things. It might be a little incorrect here and there, but outright lies. He was fired by Croatia. It's just ridiculous. And again, all the facts that he says that, or he has made certain commitments to the federation. And if things were as bad as he was, then my simple question is, why didn't you leave? Simple question. If the things were as bad as you say, PIMS were as problematic as well as you say, if your health is taking a toll, then I have to ask the question. And then I also have to ask the question of the AFF. If someone has these heart issues and heart problems, why did Stimac go into the AFC Asian Cup, if that's known? So therefore, there's a lot of questions to be asked. Master sir, what if master agreement happens with FSA? Will it be bad? I still think at the moment, to be very, very honest, for example, Stimac also falsely said that FSA running the league is shouldn't be. The AFF needs to run it. Stimac doesn't know world football. It goes to that level. It is so sad to see that he doesn't know that most leagues around the world are organized and run by independent bodies which are not directly part of a football association. The Premier League is run by a separate entity. The Bundesliga is run by a separate entity. La Liga is run by a separate entity. MLS, J League, A League, all of these leagues are run by separate entities. So for Indian football to survive, with all that has happened, will any entity come forward to support Indian football? Simple question. With all that's happening, or all that has happened, to me, no entity is going to come forward. We've seen no sponsors come forward. The Indigo deal was done by someone who was working at the time for the AFF, who has been pushed out of the AFF by certain characters. And now they're trying to sell it as, hey, listen, we did something, right? So these are the realities of Indian football. So if FSDL tomorrow says we are not continuing our association with Indian football, two questions come to my mind. One, the AFF lose 50 crores of their budget. How can they replace those 50 crores? And the second thing, which is even a bigger question, does the Indian Super League continue and survive? Right? This is the question that needs to be asked. This needs to be asked to people who don't understand things and say, oh, you know what, everything's khatam. And this whole thing that FSDL is controlling things and everything. Listen, if FSDL were controlling things, and those of you who know how Reliance operate, then it would be totally different. And that is the concern. So that's a reality. So interesting names that I've contacted. Yes, Ishan, there have been some interesting contacts in regard to coaching position. Perhaps if AFF runs ISL, it will turn into I League. That's that's something, which, I mean, even the I League is no longer the I League. That should be, that's my concern, because the reality is that the I League also has evolved and developed since the ISL came around. But over the last year or so, the I League is just being run for the sake of running a league. And that is something which is very, very worrying. Lone God says, Kalan Chobe is on interview screen nowadays. Earlier used to just tweet once a month. Again, I think the problem is that people are trying to sell positions and trying to get people on their side, and that is not helping Indian football. To me, that is the biggest concern. And therefore, and therefore, it's a problem. It's a problem that and Renan very well said, when will we stop fighting, focus on our aims? I think that's the main thing. I think the main thing has to be, again, these people say that they care about Indian football, but their actions speak otherwise. In my opinion, these people don't care about Indian football. Sorry, I have to say that. That's my personal feeling. What I say, if you really cared about Indian football, if you really bothered about Indian football, then you wouldn't do what you're doing. And that is a big concern, in my opinion, that Indian football deserves better. Its fans deserves better. Everyone in the system, and therefore, it doesn't matter for me. Vikilal, those who complain about FSL don't know about how Federation used to run top league. Yeah, most probably. But again, it's the FSL has spent quite a bit of money, at least in the initial years. I know it out of own experience from the first season of the Indian Super League. So therefore, in my opinion, despite all the problems, FSDL has done actually a decent job. It's just the commercial side of things which has not worked out. That's the main problem. That needs to be addressed. That needs to be discussed. Vignesh, a topic: AFF's special committee members initially willing to give Stimac a 1-month notice period to part ways. Vignesh, they wanted to try and find a way out of this with Stimac. Stimac says, no, either pay me everything or pay me nothing. Pay me everything or I won't go. Stimac has himself said that he would go if he doesn't qualify India for the third round of the World Cup qualifiers. So therefore, these are all, that's something. Let's see. Ishan said in the press conference, he blamed everyone, excluding himself, should have at least taken some responsibility for his tactics, substitutes for poor games. Ishan, he's never done that. That's the whole problem of this thing. It's him. He has not done anything wrong. Everybody else has done something wrong, and that's why the thing is. Listen, everything he's asked for from the federation, he's gotten. That there have been issues and there are issues. No one's going to deny that, right? That the AFF travel plans sometimes are, crazy to say the least. And therefore for me that's a big problem. And on the other side is, again, on the football part, he talked about possession football, which he never played, and we're not capable of playing. That's my concern, right? If we're able to play a certain style, a certain way of football, okay, we're fine. I'm fine with it. Let's do that. Let's go ahead. But here we are in the situation that this team has been playing not good football. At least in the earlier part, they were, getting results. And let's see. Vignesh is fool again. AFF. Samad says another Croatian coach, maybe Stimac best friend, has applied. Also, what do you think about Sven Goran is applying for my coach? May ask you also running. Sven Goran Eriksson, to me, I don't think will apply. If he has, again, if some of you follow international football would have seen recently that he was at Liverpool for a charity game. He's got cancer. So therefore, I don't see that happening. Yes, ISL coaches are applying, but again, I think it's going to be the question of what are they demanding, what they want to do, what can the AFF afford. So most of the coaches who are going to apply, it's going to be in the hundreds. It will not work. So therefore, let's see what happens. I've heard from some sources that it needs coach who understands the informal environment. The players, international coach, take 8-9 months to understand the ecosystem. Some of the question, as I've said, to me, I would not go for an ISL coach, because you will then again have the discussion of bias of players XYZ being chosen and the other players not being chosen. So that would be my sort of take. I would bring in a new coach because I want to, if I want to start with a new clean slate, I need to bring in someone, and that someone needs to be given the time to settle down. We've got time. If he comes in now, the qualifiers for the Asian Cup starts in March next year, for the AFC Asian Cup 2027. So for me, that would be the best possible way. If you ask me, if they have asked me what to do, fresh coach, no understanding. And my prime example would be Preeta Kratki. Came in, had no idea about Indian football, got infos from reliable sources, built his team, done his stuff, and won the ISL Cup. Therefore, again, if we want to talk about favoritism and this and that and everything when the new coach comes in, I would not go for someone with ISL background. Shupra, please inside news about new Indian coach who are applied or thinking of applying. Shupra, the real ones who want to apply and are serious about the job, they will not put it out themselves or their agents. Those names who are around either are putting out the names themselves or agents are putting out their names. And for me, if you ask me, that's a negative. I would say that's a negative because we are in a situation that I want. Again, we need a fresh start. This team needs a fresh start. Otherwise, we're going to be back in the same situation with the next coach. And the coach needs to be outspoken as well. If not publicly, at least internally with the AFF, if he sees problems and issues. He has to take care of not only the senior national team, but also, link up with the other national teams, help with the structure and all those things. I think that's something very important. Something I want to discuss how good our women's players are doing abroad. Karishma, Jyoti won Croatian Cup with Dinamo Zagreb. They will return to but contract extension if possible. Some of the women have been doing better than the men for quite a while. We had earlier Aditi at West Ham, Bala Devi at Rangers. Now these girls at Zagreb. The goalkeeper in Australia. We have Manisha in Cyprus. So the women are doing better, but the women's team is not doing better. So that should be a concern for the federation, and let's wait and see what happens. Let's be honest, Stephen did a far better job than Stimac with the same even lesser resources without whining and only raised his voice when it was in the team's best interest. Ishan, I think the most important sentence is, what you say is did a far better job than Stimac with the same or less, even lesser. I remove the same. Stephen had lesser resources than Igor Stimac. That's a reality. So for me, that is something that we need to talk about. That someone like Stephen did very, very well, and got a lot out of the team. And at the time where the team peaked, he left because he felt, I failed. I couldn't get India to the knockouts of the AFC Asian Cup. And that team actually did well that year. right? So Stimac, most probably the starting success of Stimac is the work of Stephen Constantine, if you want to talk about that. Vikala, we are just 3 months away from U20 Asian Cup qualifier. You tell me what federation is planning. Vikala, I would love to tell you if I knew. That's the problem. We are so involved in the circus surrounding the men's senior national team. The fighting between officials or ex-officials of the federation, that the work is being forgotten in Indian football that needs to be done. I know that someone like Satya as an acting Secretary General is trying to do things, but it's not easy. You are financially restrained, you've got a weak federation, and you don't have leadership in the federation at the moment. That's the most important thing. That's what they have, let's see. Sir, what do you think should be the duration of the contract? Should it be a long-term 2-3-year contract when it's like a project? Ishan, I think the contract that the next coach should get would be until the end of the qualifiers for the AFC Asian Cup 2027. That would be the most logical to me. I'm not aware of what dates it's going to end properly. So, but if that would be the most logical for me to say, listen, these qualifiers will be a chance, say, prove what you can do. It's been more than 48 hours since Stimac confession. FF claimed they will come up with a solid response. Where they even 40 hours not enough to hide up their corruption? Lungod, I think if I'm right, the FF now is taking legal advice on how to reply to Stimac, because I think Stimac with this interview has given them another reason to potentially fire him, because he has been doing anti-federation activity by that interview. So maybe give them maybe a day extra or two. This interview from Stimac didn't reveal anything new, right? That there are problems in the federation. I know, anyone with a little bit of sense knows. But the coach, has damaged our football so much in this last 12 months. That should be the discussion. But anyone defending the coach, do something else. Don't follow Indian football. Don't be a fan of Indian football. Sorry. We need to clear the system, because this coach has done a lot of damage over the last 5 years. Massive damage, in my opinion, over the last 5 years. I'm not saying this since yesterday. I've said it over the last 3 years. I don't think he's the fit, because someone who talks about possession football in an Indian football context, rubbish. Sorry to say that. So, would you be surprised if the new coach comes and starts criticizing the system, the AFF and everything? That's very surprising. This is by picking players from I League for national team. Samad, if anyone is smart enough to come in, you will not start by I wouldn't say that would be the approach that I would take. And why would you pick I League players? That is, again, Stimac has done this to please people. The standard of the I League is not of the standard of the ISL. It's not like the Premier League and the Championship. That is an understanding that the fans also need to have. My only problem with the Indian coaches, if Indian coach is appointed, then he would be puppet of AFF, because he will be connected to system even when being sacked, unlike foreign coaches. That's a very valid point, and therefore certain Indian coaches who speak out will never be in the running for the job, right? And they will also maybe try and get a foreign coach who, fits to their liking. So therefore, let's see. And therefore, let's wait and see. But let's see what happens. Someone, would you think in future, if Indian women's national qualify women's World Cup, even if we lose all 3 games, would that spark a fire and focus on Indian football? Somewhat at the moment where the Indian football team is, we're not on the way of qualifying for the women's World Cup. We have more than even the men's. The women's team has really been getting worse and worse over the last 2.5 years, despite all the stories of female players going abroad. So therefore, for me, the challenge is to get the right coach. Thomas Dennerby did an excellent job pre-COVID, during COVID, and even after COVID. But again, he, the team, and the FA failed at the 2022 AFC Asian Women's Asian Cup, sorry, to get the team over the line and qualify for the World Cup. That's the thing where we failed, you know. And to me, therefore, it's a huge issue, and to me, it's very, very clear that things need to happen for women's football to move to the next level. But Women's World Cup at the moment, you know, let us first qualify for the AFC, you know, Women's Asian Cup in 2026. And yes, always, I forget that reminder. Those of you who are following this live or maybe watching it later on who haven't subscribed to arunfoot, please do subscribe to the channel. Let's grow the community, closing in on the 1200. The aim, as being shown in the ticker below, is to reach 2K and then grow further. So therefore, for me, please follow the channel, support the channel, and yeah, like this video. Even while we're watching it now, more likes, more people get to know that the stream is happening. So therefore, as Akshata loves to say, and therefore, yeah, grow the community. Ishan says, sir, on 420 grams, Annie Pandit were discussing that if AFF actually pays hefty damages too much, AFF will most probably go for an Indian coach to save money. It will be easier to control. Your opinion. See, I also saw what Pandit and Annie talked about, and I could see that maybe an Indian coach could come in on the interim, that maybe an Indian coach takes over till maybe the end of the year, and then early next year a new coach comes in. That could be an option. To me, very important will be to see what the FF do. Because yes, the coach has lost trust, but the FF has also lost the trust of not only the fans, but also a lot of stakeholders. So let's see what it is. Nixon, what was our ranking before Ego Stimac? Nixon, we were in around the hundreds, and then we moved down to the 120s and this, and we've gone up and down. For me, the rankings are not an indicator how good or how bad a coach has done. India was never a team supposedly ranked around 100. We are not. We are 120, 125 most probably. On when we're good, and when we're bad, most probably in the under 40s. So therefore, the ranking to me doesn't affect me that much. Prasanjit back, welcome back. Northeast Champions League looks exciting to me. Really looking forward. I've heard about it a little, but yeah, we'll hopefully read a little bit more about it and understand something about it. Parameshwar, how was I-League profitable before I-League began? How long can ISL run in losses? Is this even sustainable? Parameshwar, the I-League was never sustainable. Indian club football has never been sustainable. So therefore, the only thing that has happened due to the ISL, because the expenditures have exploded. So we're talking about, let's say an I-League team spend about 10 to 12 crores. An ISL team spends about 40, 50, 60 plus or more. That's the only difference. So to me, the challenge here is to try and become profitable. And you can only become profitable if you have a league which has a strong broadcasting partner who's paying you money. And that doesn't happen outside of cricket in India. That's the problem of not only football, but sports in general in the Indian context. So therefore, yeah, we have to live with it. Plus, I'm an East Bengal and Aizawl FC fan for I-League. Hope they repeat 2016-2017 performance. Yeah, that would be great. Shagnik says, why can't we transport across to build the Indian football team? I hope the club politics stops someday for the betterment of Indian football team. See, the national team, I think you will not need spotters, because the national team coach and his support staff are there to scout, to scout and to find players for the national team. That is one. To me, it is about scouting at the youth level, which is for the federation a bigger topic. So therefore, let's wait and see. Harry Maguire says game style cannot be improved at national team level because our players are not like that and playing that which we were Not good is waste, like Igor did. We need to get better at youths and grassroots to play that style. You agree? Yeah, Harry Maguire, I think the basics, I forget the style. I think we need to work on the basics. And our biggest challenge is the basics are not good enough with a lot of footballers. I think, a lot of people realize when, the Lions Foundation kids now who've gone to Japan realize how good the Japanese kids are. So therefore, for us, that's the challenge. That's a huge challenge. And I hope that we can rectify those challenges and become better. And otherwise, we're going to be talking about this whole thing in the near future. So for me, these things need to be rectified. And again, grassroots, youth football, and coaching, these three competitions, that's something which needs to be done. Ishan says, sir, since we do not make it to round 3, I don't think many fans realize it will actually be difficult to qualify Asian Cup. Ishan, I totally agree. I think that's something which people don't realize is in the past, 12 teams used to play the final round of the World Cup qualifiers. And another 12 would come out of the 12 plus 12, which means 24 teams. Now, what's happening this year? 18 teams are going through to the AFC Asian Cup. But on the other side, 24 teams will be fighting for the last 6 spots. So for India, it's not easy, and I hope it does. Keshav wants BFC transfer news. Keshav, I don't have any at the moment, so very quiet. So whenever I have, I will certainly either tweet about it or speak about it. Top 10 Prime TV. Why is AFF not following up FIFA on the complaint about the controversial goal? What will happen? What do you think will happen if AFF follow up on this goal? Why did the AFF come up with statement? Nothing will change. Are we talking about? Let's say take a few examples. Are we talking about Anwar Ali's foul on the Kuwaiti striker? Are we? Let's say last night Kevin De Bruyne a goal, the second one for Belgium. Okay, nice. But he actually goes and hits the goalkeeper like this, feet up. That's in any other situation it would have been a red card. The goal stands, right? So therefore, nothing will happen. If the AFF goes to FIFA would say, yeah, okay, nice you complain, but we're not going to do something. Longo says, Aizol FC upcoming jersey looks sick. Yes, it does. But says, AFF Futsal League streaming is just pathetic. Too pathetic how bring fans support the sport. Essentially, again, the problem of the federation at the moment is the matter of money. And if there is limited money, I would some of these things I would actually run without commentary. I would just say, listen, you know what? Ensure that the picture quality is good. Let them have, the result of the match. Nothing more, nothing less. It happens around the world at lower levels. So therefore, maybe that's the news. Lakshmi Narayanan, any big name coaches applied for them? Yes, there have been, Yeah, I think they have some big names in the mix. Let's see. I guess they will be too costly for the federation to consider. Longwood, who would you think will win Euros and Copa America? See, Copa America, honestly, as someone born and brought up in Europe, I don't bother that much about. I care about the Euros. I'll go tonight as well and watch Germany play. So I've seen Spain the other day. I thought Spain were very, very strong. Germany has been strong. So those two are most probably my favorites. Portugal looked good yesterday against Turkey as well. Let's see, France, England can pick themselves up. Belgium have done well. But if you would ask me in the end, I would certainly say Germany. I think it would be good for Germany. It would be good for German football. I think it would be good for Europe. It seems like Reliance is doing wonderful youth things. They got good coaches. It's possible to spread it all to all other parts of the country. Renner, they're trying to grow systematically. So therefore, yeah, that's gonna happen. Second, AFF may compulsory to sign one OCI among 6 foreigners in ISL League, like in the past for sport of operation. Hopefully, they can play one season in the apply for citizenship. Mukul, the OCI players that are good, that are really, really good, and want to play for the national team, are not going to come to India and play. We had a similar program with PIOs at the time in the I-League, and there's only one player who stood out and who succeeded. And he also played for the national team, and that was Izumi Arata. All others failed. A lot of them left early. So therefore, doesn't make sense. Vaishali, excuse means ego. Stimac, ever never win best organization independence. Yeah, that's again. If you look at things, um, accountability is, I think, the catchphrase in this. That's a big problem in Indian football. Top 10 Prime TV, at least we owe an apology. If it has apologized to give a referendum decision, this injustice cannot be left unaccounted for. Top 10 Prime TV, it will most probably happen at some stage through a letter. But if you are expecting anything big, nothing's going to happen. Sir, Apu has achieved everything in India. Why stayed in India? Should have gone abroad. Man, very simply, because he's being offered a ridiculous contract at Mohammed. He would not even get, 1/20th of that if he went abroad. Because nobody rates Indian footballers at the moment, at least on the men's side. If you are asking to select national coach, what are criteria you will follow? For me, international experience, coach, success rate at some coach, same condition, young and committed. Your thoughts and share name of a few coaches. Shubhra, first of all, I'll not go into this name discussion. I've actually done a short video about ideas. I'll post it tomorrow in regard to what would be my criterias. I would actually think that the coach needs to understand India and understands its shortfalls, its pitfalls. I think that's, to me, more important. You could tomorrow bring in Pep Guardiola, Jurgen Klopp, Mourinho, whoever, right? We're talking about some of the biggest names in international football. They would most probably fail with India because they don't have the player material. So therefore, it's not these things, it's, if you give the same condition to two coaches, one will succeed, one will fail. Two will not succeed. So therefore, this is something that we need to keep in mind. Park Hyung-soo is best for technical director role, coach from Spanish, Japanese, Korean. Actually, to me, the nationality doesn't count. And this is something which, Park Hyung-soo, I know a lot of people in Vietnam, some rate him, some don't rate him. Some say it happened because he did what he did. Some say, the system was working at the time. So therefore, there are different opinions. Let's see where it goes. Next is at the end of contest and that of ego. I don't think there's much difference in playing quality, truly speaking. I think under Stephen handed over a functional team. We had beaten Thailand 4-1 in the AFC Asian Cup. I was there that night in Abu Dhabi. It was exceptional. I loved it. So, to equate it, this team currently is broken. It's damaged goods. So it looks like there is some curse or jinx on Indian football, like Bayer Leverkusen. Can someone who can break that jinx, finding it hard to expect good at least till dusk of this century? Vinod, there is, of course, always the hope that things will get better. That's the thing that I think that we, that whatever we speak about, that wish, that hope, desire that things will improve needs to be there. So therefore, for me, we've had ups and downs, more downs than ups actually, but the hope is the last thing that I lose. So therefore, my hope is always there that things will get better at some stage. So therefore, yeah, it's the hope factor. Nixon, the point I'm trying to make is a new coach would most likely change nothing. I think Nixon, a new coach would change a lot. This team is not the best in the world, but it's also not as bad as it has been playing or performing in the last few weeks and months. That's my only point. This team is not the best in the world, yes. But but it's not as bad as they're playing at the moment. So therefore, let's wait and see. Long Goat, there is almost zero update from my hometown FC Hyderabad FC. They have shut all doors to release any updates or news. Even those Middle East investors that we were excited about could be false. Long Goat, at the moment, there is supposedly one investor who's shown interest, but I think if you realize that if you want to start the new season, you have to pay off about 75 crores in debt, invest at least another 25 crores to put things in place, and then invest here and there. So before whoever invests does anything, that investor would have spent about 120, 130 crores. Return on investment, zero. Would you do that if you had the money? Don't think so. Hyderabad FC is hopefully not, but I fear at the moment, as look at things, is dying a slow death. I hope not, as I say, but we don't know. President, I want to know why. I want to know why IFA is not making it official that under 20 camp is starting. Oh, we can't get best chance to make it to the Asian Cup, which is just need few friendly, then play South and go. Prasenjit, again, what the IFA is doing, not doing, I can't comment on it. There are structural weaknesses in the system that we have talked about and discussed in the last few weeks and months, and therefore, I think that there is a bigger interest from people to know things, but that has not been given its due. That's the problem. Prasenjit, whoever becomes coach, what according to should be the first thing he needs to do to improve performance? Prasenjit, I think the first thing a coach needs to do, to me, is to get an understanding of what the situation is. He has to get an understanding. What is it? Who do I keep? Who do I throw out? Who do I bring in? That's going to be the big task for the new coach. For getting quick results, we should hire Habas. Nazari, that's your opinion. Murai says we need to stay in reality ground as soon as any foreign coach come to anything we could take word or something unrealistic. Morally, I don't think that every coach does that. We have had now a few coaches who do that. Other coaches haven't. So therefore, my hope is that if the right coach comes in and the right coach takes the decisions that are needed, he'll do what is needed to take us forward. So therefore, for me, the right coach will take the right decisions to take Indian football forward, and that's the challenge. That's the big challenge for whoever is the coach of India to do. So for me, yeah, that's something which I surely would say. 1 second, where did I go? There we are. LM7 or also Ronaldo or Messi. If it's only between the two, I would say Messi. Arijit, what's the rule for kickoff in football? Is the ball supposed to be kicked forward or behind? In the past, you used to play sideways and you had two players and then you could do whatever you wanted to. But nowadays, your first pass is backwards. Elite Reds, which tournament is more tougher, Euro or Copa America? That's a difficult one because I think the smaller Copa with 12 nations has its own strengths and weaknesses. But the Euro as well. Again, I was discussing it in the last 2 days with a few people about the expanded Euros. And a lot of people said that the 24 team Euros would be a dilution of the, so therefore, to me, I think I would overall go with the Euros. I think the Euros are tougher to play than Copa. Harry Magar, do you think we get ISL a good coach who knows Indian football from many seasons, although they would be fair to or we get a complete new coach to Indian football and take time, what would benefit us more? Harry Magar, I've said this multiple times. To me, a new coach with no connections, backgrounds in Indian football is to my liking. Let him take his time, let him settle down, let him come in now, and then get the team ready for March. That would be my approach if you ask me. Arijit says USA in cricket actually made more impact than they did in football. Can they upset Argentina, Brazil, or Guatemala to win Copa? What do you think of Venezuela's dark horse? Arijit, I don't really follow that much of the Copa America, to be very, very honest. And again, most people in Europe don't bother about the Copa. I think most people around the world don't care about the Copa. And if you say that cricket has made more impact than football, then you don't want to think about the fact that very few countries play cricket, right? And football is played by all countries around the world. I think the USA, the women's team is amongst the best in the world, right? And the men's team has been regularly in the World Cup. So for me, it has made its impact. Cricket has made no impact in America, where it's a tournament as if it's made from Indians for Indians. Nobody else cares about cricket over there. Or let's say a few people care who are from cricket playing nations, but that's it. Football has a huge impact. Grassroots youth football is amongst the biggest in the world, is in the United States. So therefore that comparison for me is not right. Bro, foreign update, Mumbai City, there is none. If John Toral is coming to Mumbai, is it fair to say that Mumbai is also a remit for Toral, Manzoro, Vanif, Jayesh, Brandon, Franklin? Rachit, let's keep this Mumbai City discussion for another day, maybe. But John Toral could be someone if Sanskar is asking, and they're looking at some interesting strikers as well. But yeah, let's see what. Do you think football administrators not criticized as much as players and coaches? Morally, normally I would say yes. But if I see the situation around the AFF, I would say most probably it's getting as much criticism as the coaches and the players. I think at the moment in an Indian national team context, the players are getting the least criticism. I think that the AFF and the coach have got most of the criticism. So therefore, that assumption, which normally would be the case, that the players get most of the criticism, in this case, because the coach and the federation have been fighting for a while, or rather, not working with each other. Let's see what happens. Elite trends where Asian Cup, AFC Cup, or AC Asian Cup stand content. See, if you would ask me, I would say Euro top, then most probably Copa America, then most probably the African Cup of Nations, CONCACAF Gold Cup. Yeah, and most probably CONCACAF Gold Cup, AFC Asian Cup would fight for the fourth spot. Sorry, Dark Knight says FIFA, please recommend coach to AFF. Nixon, what's your review of Rahul Baker's performance in the qualifiers? I was so disappointed, especially the one where the goal in between the legs and a few attempts that looked like Garden Stroll defending. Nixon, I would let's start it differently. Look at the talent base we have available at the moment. And Rahul Baker is not a natural centre back. So I would still say that, in my opinion, my humble opinion, and I've said this multiple times, I feel that that Rahul Baker has done very well for himself. He would be most probably the best Indian defender in the ISL of the last season. And therefore, let's see. Igor in his chat said the top team in ISL getting beaten by Bangladesh. Maldives said, why are you surprised when you are beaten by ours? I have the thoughts on that. See, the problem is he's trying to justify things. That's the problem. Basundhara Kings, again, don't forget from where they are. Basundhara Kings are a good side, and they've been creating problems for Indian teams in the AFC Cup for quite a while. And to go to the Maldives and play over there is not easy. But India drawing Afghanistan away and losing at home in Guwahati is just unacceptable. Period. No conversation. He needs to answer that. I don't need to go and criticize the AFF. I don't need to criticize the clubs. I don't need to criticize the players. What have you done? You have let Indian football down, period. You should have been gone way back. You're a failure. Period. Let's see. What's your opinion on a Puya move? LM7 is asking. He is within his rights. He's getting much more money. From football perspective, I'm disappointed because I support Mumbai City, but hey, that's football. It has happened in the past in other teams, other leagues. Yeah. Arjun hasn't used beating Pakistan, reaching Super 8, running South Africa close, made no impression on them. You say cricket team will also take part in the Olympics. Nobody cares about cricket in America, Arjun. Nobody. Reality. They have the NBA finals on. Who will watch cricket and leave watching NBA finals and watch cricket? Nobody will. They'll watch. They're watching more of Messi than anything else than even this. Cricket World Cup in America is a PR stunt. You know, nothing more. I think foreign technical committee good option for Indian football. Shobik, how can we have a foreign technical committee? How much do we need a technical committee? That's my first problem. If I have the right technical director and the technical department of the federation, I don't need a technical committee. That's the first problem. Samad, will Spain getting eliminated for semi-final finals seems to be my dark horse. I see France not reaching finals. See, I saw Spain earlier this week against Italy. Yes, they played well. But if you watch a live, I always say watching a live game is different than watching a game on television because you don't see everything that's happening on the pitch. I sometimes felt the Spanish were a little one-dimensional. In the past, they would have played tiki-taka. Now they're playing the ball wide and hoping that Nico Williams and Lamine will create something for them, right? Or long distance shots. And again, Donnarumma was exceptional for Italy that night. So therefore, if Spain Germany play the quarters, I would actually say I would actually support Germany. So therefore, to me, yeah, let's wait and see. The Dutch, yeah, looks interesting. Little unlucky not to beat the French. France depends a lot on Kylian Mbappe being back. I think that's a factor for them. So therefore, yeah, those will be the things. What do you think about the American media saying that US will reach at least semifinals or finals? I guess we're talking about football, and if you're saying football, then I would say tough ask. But again, that's a challenge. Raul Baker is right back, not even centre back, so he's playing good. Sanskar, I totally agree. Also, Afghanistan's qualified futsal World Cup. What's the realistic chance for other sub-nation football? Is it as bleak as football, or even worse? I think it needs to be managed and done properly. I think then it's possible for possible to get far, but you need to regularly qualify for the Asian level competitions and be competitive there. Afghanistan is a great story. Who's worse, Greg Berhalter or Stimac? Stimac, certainly. Rashid, why do you ignore the fact that Indian club Delhi Dynamos beat both Bangladesh and now justify why he lost to Afghanistan? See, to me, it's all justification, right? It's everybody but me. That's the sad part. If he said, listen, I did this wrong, I did that wrong, I could have done this differently, that I'll be fine with that. Again, he's human. He makes mistakes, but he's made too many mistakes. Sanskar bro, Igor talking about MSG, Mohun Bagan Super Giant versus Basundhara Kings, but not talk about Odisha FC versus Mumbai City versus Air Force Club. Yeah, but that's again, let's wait and see. So it says football needs its own syllabus of football format. Yeah, good, but I don't think we need one on a national level. I think it'll need to be regional, but we need to have and the practical things need to be sorted out. Rajit, why a so big club called Mohun Bagan do not collaborate with big clubs in Europe and help their players train outside at least? Good question. I guess that when Mohun Bagan talks to the foreign clubs, they act there like a big club. But again, clubs in India or Asia, against the clubs in Europe, are then small. It doesn't matter how many people follow you, right? But you are commercially, you're a small entity. So that's the reality. Samad, do you really think that the Indian players would play good football better than the last few months with the coach you have in mind or someone you approve of? I would expect that. Will that happen? I don't know. I would expect someone who's got a decent understanding, who's realistic, who wants to get the best out of these coaches. We can do better. Certainly we should. Or not good, we should do better. Rachit says, there's a group of people who say together we create a technical committee, but if you look into the decisions, it feels like they belong to mental committee. Yeah, let's see. Neil D'Souza, France look average, Germany was Portugal finals. Why not? Man, sir, what do you think Colin will be elected and be next president? Man, let this current term end. Right? and then we'll see what happens to the federation. At the moment, I wouldn't say this way or that way. Sanskar Stimac, Southgate or Stimac? Oh, this is Lord level. Huh? I would most probably say Southgate, because Southgate has a lot of talent at his disposal. Stimac at least has a little bit of problem in regard to talent he has, but Southgate has one of the best teams, and they are playing shitty football at the moment. And they have been for a while, let's put it this way. Southgate should have been, again, another coach who should have not been in the job for that long. Most people don't care about Copa America. It's very surprising to me, considering that regions won 10 World Cups in Africa, Asia, nothing really makes it a World Cup. Samath, this is a reality. Because certain people follow Argentina and Brazil doesn't mean that they follow all these competitions. And a lot of people around the world don't follow, don't care. When your local league, your local national team is strong, you don't care about football elsewhere. Right? In Germany, I don't normally care about the Premier League or La Liga or Serie A or whatever. We care about the Bundesliga, or even Bundesliga 2 or Bundesliga or the Dritte Liga, more than we care about football elsewhere. If you've got a strong football system, you wouldn't do it. Genjoy, hi, welcome back. And also, who would you choose between Malono and Park Hang-seo as next coach of India's senior team? I wouldn't choose any of those two. They are not in my head at the moment, at least. If they could become it, yes, but at the moment, they're not in my head. So, are you understanding Bengal? Are you watching CFL? What is your thought on Bengal football? Yes, I'm a Bengali. I understand it. I try and watch CFL if it's available online, or watch it live when I'm in Kolkata. And on thoughts on Bengal football, I think Bengal football needs to do a lot more. Orijit, what's the main reason behind? Just let me quickly have a sip, and then we can continue. 1 second. Let me just do that. Sorry. What's the main reason behind India doing so bad in football? Stimac, AFF, or players? The last match India played basically Qatar, you don't decide, yet lost. It's all of the above combined. The players are not giving their best. The coach didn't know what he was doing, and the federation should have never extended the contract of the coach. So all of them are involved in this. So there's no straight-cut answer. Sanskar said, why KFC is silent transfer markup? No one, Luna, no one has confirmed. See, Sanskar, I think if you see the clubs this season, and if you see also Marcus and the others who are talking about transfers and all that stuff, they've become much more guarded. A piece of advice that I've given a few months back, that when you do your transfers, not everybody needs to know. So therefore, I think give them time, let them sort themselves out, let them do their stuff, and they will announce their players. They might lose one or the other player, but they might also sign one or the other player. So therefore, give KBFC some time. So they will do that. 44 people watching at the moment. Those of you who haven't liked the stream, please like the stream, share the stream, so more people can join us in this conversation. Please also subscribe to arunfoot if you haven't so far, so that the community grows, heading slowly towards the 1200. And of course, the aim is to grow bigger. So thank you, those of you who've been following me for a while, or for a few days, a few hours, a few minutes. But thank you for that. And let's continue growing the community. Let's keep these conversations going. Shokas, and also, what the heck is going on in AFF? I checked social media for 2 days, and now I see Stimac is not taking any blame. Kalyan is doing the same. Who is the main culprit here? Shokas, I think it's not a question of who is the main culprit. I think all of these people are culprits in their own little ways of what's happening. That's the problem. We don't need to go. To me, that's the challenge. That these are the kind of problems which can crop up. You can get rid of a coach, fire a coach, but if you're good, you sort this out behind the scenes, right? They are doing it publicly, and it is hurting the image of India. We are a laughing stock in the world of football. Again, I talk to people, at the Euros who follow international football, work in international football. They're laughing about us. They're laughing about India. Oh, you guys had so big plans. This is that. Nothing. We're laughing stock of the world. Shyam, U20 national team is selected from single tournament. How is this possible? I'm trying to avoid whole season of a player is seen is going from one tournament to touch players. Shyam, they're not doing it just from the U20 nationals, but they're also selecting players from the RFVL, and other tournaments. So therefore, they're not just So next month, new manager announcement. Mayank, I don't know when the AFF will announce. The question is, are they looking to announce a new manager for the for the September window, or are they rather looking for someone to come in, let's say in Jan? So therefore, let's wait and see if they're going to have someone temporary and then bring in someone. Let's see. Neil D'Souza, will Kimmich leave Bayern? It's a possibility. It's something which is surely possible, which could happen. So therefore, and I wouldn't be surprised if it happens. I think Joshua Kimmich and Bayern. There was a documentary last night about it on German television. Yeah, and Joshua Kimmich has had a few issues in that sense. And let's see, wait and see. Nixon Pinto, thank you for the live. Thank you, Nixon. Great, always come back. Let's see. Dhruva Jyoti, according to you, who would be the best three choices for manager of Indian national football team based on names that came out? Dhruva Jyoti, I think the best options so far are not in the list, to be very honest. I think there will be better ones which are, so for me, there will be other coaches who have applied who we don't know about. So therefore, let's wait and see. Amongst the names that were there, who I think hasn't been around but has a good understanding of Indian football and his experience, who's coached international level as well, would be most probably Trevor Morgan. Trevor would be, an interesting choice, I would think. But again, there will be many others as well in the mix. Let's wait and see. Cristiano, how long do you think can Portugal go in Euro? I think Portugal has the talent to go as far as the final, I think. They have it in them. And if Cristiano Ronaldo plays like a team player like he did yesterday, who knows? AF has done like Netflix every day shared with FC Goa of their rankings of for national team. They have turned into joke 4 lakhs years that much for a subscription. Shyam, again, yeah, but for me, it's a problem that these kind of infos are coming out. For me personally, and that's something which damages the reputation of the federation. Why this has been done, why not has been done? That's the question that someone should be asking. Why have we had these problems with the vests, with Y Scout, and other things? And I asked the federation officials, say, why are these problems there? No one is asking. So, yeah, let's wait and see. Swaroop, I don't know. Do you have faith and hope in AFF that they will choose best coach for Indian national team this time, even I do not want any ISL coach to guide India because nepotism may. Swaroop, honestly, I don't know. I think the document that has been produced in regard to requirements of anyone who wants to apply for the job, that's a good sign. But I don't know what the AFF will do when it comes to the stage of saying, hey, listen, we're doing our appointment of national team coaches. I don't know. I would love to see the things, but I'm not sure if things will really work out the way it should and needs to be. That's my concern. So therefore, yeah, I'd love to see certain things, but I don't know if it's going to happen. So therefore, the AFF is the AFF, and that's something which I feel is something very, very, very tricky in its own little ways, right? So I don't know if it'll work. It's the AFF has been, in this weird bubble and it's harming itself. So yeah, let's see how far they can take it and if they can take the right decision. General announcer, who will be the next coach of senior team? I don't know. I honestly don't know. Arjit, can't other players from Olympics, hockey, martial arts be drafted into Indian soccer? Andre Gauss. Don't know if that's something. If that's a fact. Some youth cricketers or baseball cricketers are now doing great in T20. I mean but those two are similar projects, right? So therefore, that's football is a different sport. Bumrah, Kimmich will never leave Bayern. He's a captain. Let's wait and see. He could be leaving Bayern. So do you think they sacked Stimac because of fan pressure or continuous failure or Stimac? I honestly think fan pressure had nothing to do with this. I think that the federation at some stage was fed up with Stimac and therefore they sacked Stimac. That's the reason. Neil D'Souza, which team do you support? I support Bayern Munich as well as my here local hometown team, FC Remscheid. Rohit Moore says we need a coach like Bielsa. This broke Barca wants Kimmich. Let's see where he goes. Well, Hamza playing at SAF for Bangladesh against India at SAF. Arijit, I don't know. They're working on the passport. Hamza Chaudhary at some stage will be playing, for Bangladesh. Indian football team and system has given people so much disappointment, anger, shocks that even if in 2018 our team plays good football, some people reject it. Like, why would you reject it? If they're successful, the people will support. Again, this notion of anger and this and that. And I think Germany this year are a very good example. I think early this year when in Jan February we said, no, Euro is coming. I'm not interested. I don't want to watch it. And then in March you beat France, you beat the Netherlands, you bring in Toni Kroos, you bring back Toni Kroos, and suddenly there's an interest. So therefore, fans forget quickly, right? Official BJP nomination, Kalyan Chaubey Bhattacharya as candidate for Manikalaya in the local elections. The Bharat says Ronaldo and Chetu Chila die. Someone says, what are you more, German, Indian, or Bengali diehard? Somewhat I am Germany and India to me, and of course the Bengali aspect comes in as well. So therefore, yeah, I'm both. Philippines National Guard has won to Europe to scout Philippines all working to make the market strong and secure. Shyam, that's happening. It's been happening. Philippines were the first one to do this many, many years back. I think about a decade back, Philippines started this whole process, Swarup says Steven Constantine should be back in here to guide a national team of success from 2014 2019. I don't think Steven will come back. I don't see him coming back at the moment. Bro, but if as a coach come as national coach, then he will ignore other club players. Only will play with the players, someone from others, but no more than that will play for national. Sanskar, that is a potential danger. I don't, if we look at who we could, put into that hot seats, let's call it a hot seat. But to me, the most important thing is it has to be the right coach, and I want a new, fresh blood element coming in. I think that's at the moment, my thought process about the Indian national team, because we have too many, cross connections, and therefore I would like to see. Some of you have names of people you want to become president of AFF. Yeah, I would have certain. It to me is, there are certain names. Yes, I would have. I would certainly, say something about that. Bro, साफ मोहम्मद सिटी का कब खेलेगा and किसके सामने खेलेगा? Sanskar, the SAF Cup Championship, I've been saying this for years. Let it be confirmed. It's not confirmed. Why are we talking about it? It is not a confirmed competition. They've still not said it will happen. Only say good signing for Bayern. Neil, if he does sign, yeah, I think it's an interesting signing and they're talented player. So yeah, we'll look forward to it. LM7, once on social media, there were posts from AF about PVI or OCI players. After nothing has happened. Yeah, LM7, I think, one of those examples that things have not been moving, so to say, the way that fans or people in the system would like. And this OCI PAO thing is, there's supposedly was supposed to be a report, but I've not heard anything. How do you see banning of local tournaments? I have mixed feelings about that. Shyam, I would think it's the right move, because we've had now, if you're part of the mainstream, you want to be professional. The Cape tournaments, sevens, and we've had now a few serious injuries in Cape tournaments. this last season. So therefore, the AFF has to take a stand. Either you are a professional and play professional football, or you rather play these tournaments. And these tournaments are not helping Indian football. They're helping those guys locally. They're helping the players financially, but it's harming Indian football in the long run. And I think the step taken by AFF is the right one. Whatever other people say, that's my opinion. I might be wrong, but that's my opinion at this stage with the information, knowledge I have, what I've seen. I think it's very, very important. Either be part of the mainstream or not. I just answer Shreyam's reaction that I think more than that, local tournament only drives the interest of football in suburbs. They say we don't know when Kolkata league matches are. They are far off. That CFL has no audience. Locals have. See, Shreyam, there are 2 points in this. If anyone anywhere says, I do not know when a match or this or that is happening, in today's world, in the year 2024, that's a problem. Why? To me, very, very simply. Because with mobile phones, with platforms like these, through Google, all the information is available at your fingertip. So that to me doesn't count. Again, if you're too lazy to do that, it's fine. If you want to go to a local tournament because it's around the corner, it's fine. Listen, I remember that I went and watched an I-League game in Kolkata. I was in Kolkata while I was watching on the phone Germany play Japan in the World Cup. Maybe I'm expecting too much. A friend of mine says, listen, you have to have the right level of passion to be committed and not just say that you're committed. You have to go there and watch. That's the thing that I say about these things. Right. Let's go back to what the other thing. Someone says, whenever the Indian national team plays, puts a stinker performance, it goes viral on social media, like Indians cannot play football. They don't have genes, 1 million population, but no star. It's just depressing. Somewhat it happens. It happens to the Chinese as well because of their failures. So therefore, the failures are highlighted earlier than the successes. That is part of a problem in today's football culture. So, that's something. Top 10 Prime TV, hello. Why don't you run for president? Influencers need to take actions on the ground. Podcast videos alone won't help. Please run for the president. Top 10 Prime TV. Just to make a clarification, I might be in this online media space or media space. I've been, I go back. My history starts 26 years ago when I founded started IndianFootball.com, when no other football website on Indian football existed. So and I've done stuff in the background. So I differentiate myself from being someone. I've been involved in things that have shaped the future of Indian football. I've been part of the team that created the FIFA AFC roadmap. I've been, before India got banned, I tried to, in a personal capacity, tried to explain to people that what to do, not to do. So I've tried, but president, I think that would be the right thing to do. General Anawar, who can be the best coach for Indian team? Anyone in mind? I've got some people in my mind, but I'm not going to be throwing names. So therefore, let's wait and see. I think one of the lags of proper clubs like Europe have 4th, 5th clubs with proper infrastructure, which will attract crowd. Shyam, infrastructure certainly for smaller teams is a thing, but in the Kolkata context, the smaller clubs also have infrastructure on the Maidans or in the suburbs. So if you want to find reasons of fault, there are many reasons. If you want to find reasons why things can work, there are many reasons. So therefore, where there are pluses, there are also minuses. Sanskar, bro, ISL future if FS is gone. If FSDL is gone, there is no ISL. Pranav says ISL doesn't do marketing like they used to. I still remember Diwali, Football Wali. Pranav, it's very simple. Why? Because the commercial returns have not been there. Very simple. The ISL does less marketing because they have to think about every rupee spent. And they spend a lot of money. I was part of this Ye Diwali Football Wali thing, was running Mumbai City at the time. So therefore, yeah. It's very difficult. But are they going to come at 3 o'clock to Kolkata, leaving his day job, which take trains and all? I think is expecting too much. They can't relate leaving big three. Shrem, the problem is, and then you say, listen, you do 8 o'clock kickoffs, and then you don't have a way to go home. If you want to find reasons, I know friends of mine who build their work day around when their clubs are playing or national teams are playing. I know people who are traveling every day at the moment to watch matches at the Euro. It's for a month, but and they save money for a whole year. So if you want to, you can do everything. What happened to Australian wonder kid Kunda Bain would be signing for a big one? He's still in Australia, and I don't know if he's signing Bain in the summer or might stay another season in Australia. Morally, grassroots and football ball administration makes India difficult to progress through AC level when they face bigger teams like Qatar, Australia. They are getting thrashed. To focus on strengthening. See, we need to strengthen everything, Morali. I always say, start with the grassroots, continue with youth football, coaching, competitions. All of these things need to be strengthened. Where do you rate the Serie A? Honestly, football quality, I really like watching Serie A. Many attending games, but people criticize their football infrastructure teams are really bad. Samath, to me, Italy has always been a strong footballing nation, but the infrastructure is a disaster. I mean, the last real upgrade of infrastructure happened for Italia 90, for the World Cup. And that's over 34 years ago. So therefore, and of course, they have built a few stadiums like the new Juventus one, but they need a massive infrastructure overhaul, and they've got a problem with racism, so fan violence. So these are the things they need to look at. More, if Indian football is fun, same as Brazil, think they can compete with Japan or Korea, would it make India stronger? Only the question is not about the money. It needs to be the right leadership and the intent. China is spending or has spent a lot of money. They are ahead of us, but they're not that much ahead of us. Qatar spend a lot of money, or is spending a lot of money. Yes, they are now double AFC Asian Cup champions, but they flopped at the World Cup. So these are the realities, right? These are the realities that we, if we like it or not, we need to accept. That is there in a football context, and it's not easy to try and build things. But for me, yeah, it's a challenge. It's a huge challenge. And the question is, what is the right way of doing things? And therefore, I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know where we would go, but it's not just the money factor which needs to change. So, bro, if I leave, will ISL clubs bring I-League or both one league or any other thing? Sanskar, I don't know what would happen, but I think a lot of ISL teams, franchises, would most probably stop to exist. I think, again, the AFF can't, in the current scenario, run a top level league in India along the lines of the ISL. They're not in a position. Murali, do you think Indian football player never thought basics right way at young? Yeah. I've been saying that, Murali. I've said that multiple times. This one's going to get another sip. Murali, in my opinion, that's a huge problem. That you have to learn your basics at grassroots. Some players start so late. It's very difficult. Deepan, welcome back. Is the racism of our players in Europe who are not Europe origin? Again, there is racism everywhere, and you don't need to push it towards Europe. There is racism. I mean, in an Indian context. I was talking to some Indian friends 3 days ago. After the Spain-Italy match about things, and again, racism is there around the world. So it is sad that it's there, but it is there and needs to be fought. And people need to be accepted for who they are and what they are. Kunal, hello, sir. Well, hello from my side as well. Politics plays a huge role in Indian football. Politics is there everywhere, every sport. Samath, I don't listen to the All India Battle Federation appointed a foreign coach where he said lots of Indians in US play good basketball should be included. Why don't AFF, AITA, AIBA go to sports ministry? The sports ministry knows about it, and the federation have gone. Now the ball is in the court of the ministry to change things. It's not a question of if AFF will ask, or basketball federation will ask, or tennis federation will ask. It's for the Indian government, for the sports ministry, potentially even for the Indian Parliament to come together and make something worthwhile. That is the challenge that I think Indian sports has. So for me, not an easy one, but it's something that can be done. So therefore, it is possible. It's not something that's impossible. So therefore, it is possible. Says, can we implement Japan football structure in India? What are FIFA football going to do in India? Do they exist? Only I always say is you can't replicate a football structure of XYZ country in another country, because the reality is in every country, every state. And that's a reality. Again, the Japanese have built a structure which is strong with its school and university football. The J League has come on top of that. So therefore, we have a structure that is strong. They have a structure, that is strong, and therefore we need to build that structure. And the building process has been going on now for 3 decades. But again, we're not there yet. So therefore, that's the reality of how things are. And the FIFA AFF Football Academy exists in Odisha, and I think 15 kids are training there at the moment, who are local kids from Odisha. All other kids have been denied because they are either not seen as good enough by the FIFA coaches or have been overaged. So therefore, let's see what happens on that front. So I said, bro, we does have plan B. Our other big investor, like if we're still gone, then khatam, bye, goodbye. Sanskar, I said this a little while ago. I said it today also, earlier, that if FSDL goes, I don't see anyone coming in. And that's the end of the ISL. There is no plan B. So therefore, the job of the AFF should be to try and do everything they can to ensure that FSDL stays and try and get a better deal with a little bit more money in it. That's all what you want. You can't ask for anything. No one else is showing interest to come to India. Look at, this whole circus that we've seen in the last few days and weeks. Who would want to come after that? Ask that question. Samad, I honestly don't rate the Qatar team. Look like they become Asian champions again, but they lose to Ghana, beat team 5-1. Samad, I do rate them. I've seen them a few times, and I rate them. Period. Deepa says, don't you think now the players of the new generation who are training have better basics than the players that are playing right now? What are your thoughts? I think scouting is the main problem. The players are not better. That's scouting surely is a problem, but the players are not better. Look at the way India plays football. It looks like some of the players. Again, I've seen under 7, under 20, but I'm not convinced. I've seen better teams in the past with all less influence of scouting, exposure, training. This that they were better. Why can I say club can't compete with top Asian team? Are they weak, technical, physical? More first, the problem is we are our Indian players. Again, as with the national team, the clubs are not good enough. The players are not good enough. The foreigners are not as good as those in the other teams. And we also are weaker on an overall perspective than other nations. And financially, we're not spending as much. So therefore, we can't compete with top Asian nations. Saska, what is the future of Indian football when new coach come with national team? Saska, I don't know. But to me, I hope that the new coach settles in quickly and can do some wonders with the Indian team. I think that's the best way to formulate how things are at the moment. So therefore, it's difficult. It's not easy, and the challenges are there and will remain. I think parents also can play a big role in improvement of our Indian football. See, yes, they can, because they can encourage their kids to play the sport. I think that's the first thing. But everything else, we'll have to wait and see. I think that's the challenge. The sport needs to grow. We need bigger participation, and we need better coaching. Let's see where we go. Your thoughts on Minerva Punjab? It's one of those academies, but again, they're also not producing world-class players. Yes, that's a fact. Without our players playing in Europe, I don't think our national team can't compete with the best. Right now, we should try to regularly qualify for Asian Cup at junior level also and do well. Parameshwar, very well said. Totally agree with you. Why war-torn countries perform better than India? See, it doesn't matter if it's a war-torn country, if it's a poor country, it's a rich country. If your football basics are better, their football basics are better. That's the thing. If India qualify for AFC U20, will it bring some positive for overall football percentage? I don't know. It might be a fluke. So therefore, our overall system is not there. That's the biggest problem. Person says our team can't even string 3-4 passes properly. Yeah, these are the things that you mentioned. These are the realities of Indian football at the moment, and these are huge problems of which we face. And if you don't rectify them, nothing will happen. That is our biggest challenge. We need to rectify the mistakes with the senior national team. We need to rectify the systematic problems that we have. You know. So therefore, no. Sanskar, I said club performance in ACL stage also the reason why foreign people does not invest money in clubs. No, Sanskar, our performances doesn't matter. It is a question of if I put in money. Let's say if I put in 1 rupee, and can I get that 1 rupee back can I get that 1 rupee back first, or can I get that money back with an interest, or will I lose the money? And now at the moment it's losing the money. So therefore there's no, in terms of match fixing. Chetan, no, I think at Euros or big tournaments, you have matches at the same time. Maybe some people say match fixing, but I think it's about teams playing tactically. I mean, it happened in 1982 when Germany and Austria were playing each other in Gijón, and Morocco was the third team in the fray. And with a draw, Germany and Austria would have gone through. They played a little football here and there, but in the last 5 to 7 minutes, they just pushed the ball here and there amongst themselves and whatever. So therefore, to avoid these kind of situations, they have similar style. Morali, when India had glorious history in early 60s, right, we fall far behind. What made a difference, you see? Morali, first of all, our great history isn't as great as it's made. That's the first problem. Did we ever qualify for a World Cup? To me, that's the main thing. Did we ever? Olympics and Asian Games are great to win matches or gold medals or whatever, but we never qualified for a FIFA World Cup. That's the whole thing. Everything else doesn't count. They didn't want to play World Cup in those days. You should blame these people. People are made heroes. Today is the grassroots days under the name of PK Banerjee. Ask me what PK Banerjee did. Did he grow Indian football? No. What happens to Indian football and Indian players does not exist? Samath. Don't know. Let them earn their cross now. Then they'll be playing for, I don't know, 500 rupees? Who knows? Personally, we need 1983 in football, whatever you do, but some unexpected results. Yeah, personally, surely. But, maybe that 1983 moment could have been if we'd qualified for the next round in the 2019 AFC Asian Cup, or, qualified for the third round of the World Cup. I don't know, but we need that. Perhaps it feels like we're talking about the same problem for the last 10 years. Perhaps we've been talking about problems in some sort of formal way for the last 25, 26 years that I've been around, right? And things seem to be getting better, but either we are, stagnant, or it's getting worse because the others are improving around, and these are the challenges. Parameshwar's foreign scouts usually scouted AFC U7 if FIFA says we should try to do well in that level. That's how Bayern scouted Sapit Singh, but he has fallen off now. That's a different thing. Parameshwar, yes, but we've done well, but none of our players got scouted. They're not looking at us. Some Indian players were never going to abroad, even when ISIL was not there. So it's clearly the quality problem. See, that is not true. Baichung went, Sunil went, Mangi Subrato tried their luck abroad. Gurpreet Singh Sandhu has gone abroad. So therefore, yeah, they've tried. Rohit, think if FSA gone, our players will play in foreign league. Sanskar, I don't know what will happen, because that's the implosion of Indian football. And if Indian football implodes, I don't know what will happen next, to be very, very honest. So therefore, I don't want to speculate. This is another problem we have in Indian football. A lot of people speculate, think they know, and they have an opinion about things where they don't know really what the facts are. So that's the reality, right? Do you think FIFA has a soft corner towards bigger nations like France, but when it comes to African nations, they're showing any bias? No, I don't think so. General, if we had played FIFA World Cup when we were invited to play, we could have been the best in Asia. What's your thought on this? General, exactly. If we didn't qualify. We were invited, in 1950 to play in Brazil. We didn't go. The biggest single mistake in Indian football, to me at least. So everything else is fine. Gopit running from Norway to Bangalore FC was the worst decision according to me. Prasenjit, yeah, on that front, I would agree with you, because he could have taken another decision and he didn't. So therefore, to me, yeah, it's a disappointing thing. I think if the Under-17 World Cup batch members immediately went abroad in any better leagues, that could have improved drastically. Pratik, yes, but again, there were no serious offers for the players. That's also a reality. Worst cricket team is supposed to flat pitch for their own stadium and bowling pitch or shallow. Again, I don't know what it is, so therefore I can't comment. If we were regular bigger nations, even though we get beaten heavily, that would then how we develop rather than playing bigger nations. None of the bigger nations want to play us. And losing all the time is also not good. So the mixture has to be right. But we're not doing it. Guys, 1 hour, 28 minutes of a Sunday talk. It's nearly 7 p.m. in Germany. In a little over 2 hours, Germany take on Switzerland in their final Group A match of the Euro. So I'll slowly need to get ready for the game. Thanks once again for joining in to this Sunday night conversation. A lot of topics covered. And those of you who haven't subscribed to the channel yet, please subscribe to arunfoot. Like the video, share the video, look at the other videos. And I've done a few videos in the last few days on certain topics, maybe of your interest in regard to this whole circus around the AFF, the whole Stimac situation. Have a look at those as well. I'll most probably do. I've prepared a video. I'll post it on regard to what kind of things I would look in for a coach who could be, what qualities I want to see in a new Indian national team coach. So do follow that. That will come tomorrow. Just take the last few of your comments. Prabal says fans are also reason for downfall in India. They don't understand football. That's why Igor and F make them. Mamu, majority don't even ask right questions. They question based on statements, not facts. Sadly, I have to totally agree with you. That's a harsh one, but that's a reality that we are in. Who has best technical Indian player? Well, if you ask me, the ones that I've seen, it would be Vijay. Vijay was the best. And Jen Julian, and also, will India ever play FIFA World Cup? Generally, that's a dream I have. I would like to see India at least play one World Cup before I die, but I don't know. The younger me expected India to have played a World Cup by now, but I don't see India playing a World Cup anytime soon. That's the worrying part in me and my head, that I feel that we've not gotten closer. We've rather moved away from qualifying for a World Cup, and we've been moving away with every turn, every 4-year cycle. And my concern is that, and hopefully we can be better. And let's see. And again, I would love India to play a World Cup. Igor Stimac, how are you doing? I'm fine, Igor Stimac. You're coming a little late. I'm about to end this stream. So therefore, once more, those of you who haven't subscribed, please subscribe to arunfoot. Those of you who haven't liked, please like the video, share the video, and yeah, let more people know that we're having these kind of conversations, and that we can, you know, try and change things. I'm at least trying to change things, you know, by discussing with you, informing you, at least what I think, what I know to be right or wrong, and spread the word. Again, we've seen over the last week multiple examples of why Indian football is where it is, because people are taking us for granted. So for me, that's something which I see. So good night from my side. Enjoy if you're watching the game, Germany with Switzerland tonight, and let's hope for the best. And Ginger, tomorrow live, I can't promise. I'll try. Yeah, and therefore, thanks and good night.